Hey everybody and welcome back. This is episode 2 of my Detroit Pistons rebuild. In the first episode, we just took a look at the team, the roster, and pretty much cried after due to the lack of talent that we do have. I want to get through some of the early season steps, like the D League assign, and then try to bang out a few games and see how this team performs. So let's check the inbox real quick. We do have to assign some scouting points. We know that this team's definitely going to need the draft to help us out a lot. I prefer to build through the draft rather than free agency, but depending on what free agents may or may not want to play with us, we might have to heavily rely on the drafts going forward. And then we also have to assign players to the D League, which is pretty hilarious because 80% of our roster is D League level, I would say, at this point. So to assign our scouting points, we're going to go up to Scout the Draft. And so as you can see, we can base our scouting staff on the U.S. college regions as well as international regions. We don't have a look at the draft pool, so it's not like I can see that there's an elite international prospect waiting to be scouted. So I am going to spend a lot of these 390 points in the U.S. regions. So I do want rankings in scouting reports. Let's see, playstyle breaks down their floor range and ball actions, which would be helpful. I also basic ratings. Scouts provide letter grade and basic categories. I question how accurate those would be, but the deep dive. Scouts provide notification for under/overrated players. We'll go with playstyle. Man, 10 more points would be able to get the whole thing, but let's go with basic ratings here. And then, a quick ranking. Scouts provide a 1 to 5 star ranking. You know what? I prefer to have a lot more information to make a better decision rather than just 1 to 5 stars. So, you know what? I'm going to go with that. We do have 15 points that are not being used, but it is what it is. Hopefully, there's not too many top tier international players worth scouting because we won't have any information on them. We still have to assign some players to the D League, so let's hit the roster real quick. Let's sort by their overall and their potential. So Saban Lee looks to be a good candidate to head down to the D League. Trey Lyles is a little old to be down there, as well as Rodney McGruder. So, and we do have a ton of point guards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point guards. So we'll send down Saban Lee. We do have room for another. Isaiah Livers. Seems like he can play some defense. Shooting ratings aren't all that bad, but those handles, yeah, you know what? I can't see him playing over guys like Sadiq Bey, Josh Jackson, Cade Cunningham, Jeremy Grant. So maybe he gets a few minutes down in the D League. All right, so those are our two guys heading down. Let's process this. We're probably going to have to run the D League draft, and then we'll get into our depth chart, our strategy, all that fun stuff. All right. Okay, D League draft. We'll advance through that. Thankfully, it doesn't make us sit and watch it like it did in years past. A lot of times the game would hang up too while you're watching that. So that's a nice little addition to the new engine for Pro Basketball 22. We have an email come in, G League draft. We already advanced. We need to generate a draft class for our pro leagues. Now we could import a file, a custom file if we had one. We do not, so we'll let the game create the class for us by clicking on default. Let that process. And then we're going to break down our team, our depth chart, our sub rotations. I can't imagine that we will be going very deep into this bench because there's not much worth playing. But maybe I'm fooled. Maybe the 1 to 10 rating system is skewing how I feel about some of these guys. Maybe they're better than they look, or I can't imagine they're much worse than what their ratings show at this point. So must be quite the draft class that they're cooking up here. All right. Okay, so now we are into the season. The regular season is upon us. So let's hit that depth chart. So Cade is starting at the point guard position. I do like that very much. I do want him to play 1 through 3. Man, at 6'8", 220, he could play the 4 as well. You know what? We have to rely on him, so we're gonna play him, and we're gonna play him a lot. If he happens to get a little banged up, we might lose a few more games, and who says no to that? Josh Jackson at 6'8", 207. Can play both wing positions. I think he's a little light to play the 4. Now Jeremy Grant, 6'8", 220. Will play both. He'll be a tweener combo forward. Olynyk definitely plays both big man positions. Isaiah Stewart at center. Jackson's up at 75. Grant at a 70. Sounds about right. Olynyk 75. And Stewart at 85. You know what? I do want him to play a few more minutes. He's one of our better young players. Maybe he develops a bit. He's really our only reliable rebounder on the team, so we're gonna ride him till the wheels fall off here. Sadiq Bey, 6'8", 215, great size. I don't really see him. I don't think his skills are going to translate to playing in the post much. Yeah, I mean, the rebounding's not going to really work, and I was really hoping for him to be a better defender in this universe, but doesn't seem to be that way. You know, he is an effective 3-and-D guy in the NBA, but here in this league doesn't look like that. So he's going to play more on the wing, the 2-3 positions. God, those ratings hurt. So I will play him. We'll drop his endurance down to 80. Killian Hayes. I do like that he has the attacker badge. We don't have many badges on this team, which is kind of disheartening to say the least. He's clearly not going to rebound or draw any fouls, but he can play some D. He can handle the ball, which is we definitely need. Can pass a little bit, but man, the shooting ratings are scary. I'm so glad he's got an 8 free throw rating when he'll never draw a foul. That's fantastic. So sub below at 85. I don't want you playing shooting guard, although you do have great size. I don't see where that would come in handy. I need him to distribute. Corey Joseph, probably one of our better skilled players at the guard position. Good ball handler, great shooter. Not really going to defend, but he's really all that we have. So him and Killian Hayes will probably play a lot of backup point guard minutes. I'm not sure who will split them. I bet I would love to find a trade partner for Corey Joseph. Frank Jackson, again, he has a sharpshooter badge, which is nice to see, although he's not super aggressive in scoring. At 6'3", 205, maybe we bring him in. Decent defender, actually. Maybe we bring him in off the bench to play some backup 2-guard minutes. Good ball handler, but he's not a good passer. Yeah, I don't want him playing point guard much at all, so we'll play him strictly at shooting guard. I should go in and just change his position. That would be great. Luka Garza. Solid defender. And unfortunately, with the 4-and-4 in the rebounding ratings, he's probably our second best rebounder. We know he's a skilled scorer on the inside. He's massive at 6'11", 265. We'll play him at center. It's going to be him and Isaiah Stewart soaking up all 48 minutes at the 5. And then the rest of the guys, Trey Lyles is a nobody. I don't even want to consider playing him, so he will go on the trade block immediately. I don't care. We have no use for him. Or Rodney Magruder. I don't want to give you guys any minutes. We have more important players to try to develop. All right, so Grant, Olynyk, Jackson. Man, I wish Sadiq Bey was better. I'd like to play him at the 2 to start. But we are massive though across the front line. I mean, the whole lineup at 6'8", 6'8", 6'8", 6'11", and Isaiah Stewart at 6'9". I bet, for players that aren't incredibly gifted on the defensive side, this defensive end, I bet we could get by playing a lot of zone. Oh, skipped over Hamidou Diallo. Actually, one of our better players. Great defender, good at drawing fouls. You know what? I think he might be our starting 2 guard. 6'5", good size too. You know what? Let's slide him in. I wasn't all that sold on Josh Jackson starting, so that'll work out nicely. But Jackson is better than Sadiq Bey, unfortunately. Hayes, Joseph. So I guess we're going to play a little deeper than I expected. We're going to go 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe even 11 deep at times. So let us suggest just the matrix, because pretty much the depth chart I want to use, see what the game thinks. Very interesting that they have Cade playing all of his minutes at point guard except for 4, sliding over to the power forward. Diallo strictly at the 2 guard. Josh Jackson soaking up some of those minutes as well. Bey playing some decent minutes. Killian Hayes, Corey Joseph, and Frank Jackson not getting any love from the engine, and you know what? For now, I think that's going to be fine. We'll see how this plays out. I do like having Jeremy Grant playing between the forward positions. I think Olynyk's playing a little too much for my liking, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And let's check out the strategy. But before we do, I do want to look at our roster, and I want to see what our ratings look like just to get an idea of defensively. Okay, so actually our top 3 wingmen, our starting 3 on the wing, are pretty good defenders. Isaiah Stewart's a good post defender. Olynyk is obviously not going to stop a nosebleed. So maybe we could get by playing a little high intensity on the defensive end. So let's take a look. Well, offensively, I don't want to use the coach strategies. I do want to take advantage of our interior scoring. We're not graced with some great shooters either. You know, between Cunningham, Diallo, Stewart, Jeremy Grant, we're going to want to get inside. But do I want to post? Drive and shoot. I do want to drive and shoot a lot. What is the difference between that and grinds? Grind, pull-ups. Use everything pretty much evenly for floor areas. Ball actions, drive and pass, drive and shoot. Yeah, I think this is what we want. I want a lot of post-ups, and I want to drive and shoot a lot. So let's start with the post focus. Defensively, I think we're just going to play straight. Diallo is our best defender, so I'm going to say perimeter. Cade, perimeter. Grant on the perimeter, and the big man. Where'd he go? Although Luka Garza is a pretty good post defender, but am I not seeing Isaiah Stewart? Is my resolution? Is that what's up? Ah, there it is, yeah. So actually, weird. I don't know why the bottom was cut off there. And we'll do post player here. Great. Let's go to our dashboard so we can kind of control a little bit more of our metrics. Where is our coach? Here we go. your office, I believe is where we want to be. Right. Here's our philosophies. I want to play the younger players. I think my rotation's a little deeper than I expected. I want to play fast. Crash put were not that good on the glass, so you know what? I would prefer to get back on D. I think we're going to up the intensity. We'll crash the glass on defense. But I do want to get out and break. Full court defense, we're going to pick it up. And I think zone, we're going to bring it way, way down because I think we're better defensively than I expected. So let's give it a shot. See how this first set of games goes. We're not playing. Kawhi Leonard playing in this environment, which is fine. We don't have all of the injuries carried over from the off season, so not a big deal. We are not playing today. Oh, we are, excuse me, we are playing, and we got a win at Indiana. So let's go back and check it out. Just because it's the first game, the opener, Detroit on the road against our Central Division foe, Cade Cunningham, the player of the game, 28, 6 dimes, 8 boards. Love to see it. Killed him on the points in the paint. Even second chance points, that's kind of wild. Who else showed out today? 18 from Jeremy Grant. Isaiah Stewart, 11 and 16 boards, 5 blocks, 5 assists. Wow. Man, if he could be a legitimate franchise big man to play with Cade Cunningham, that would be something special for sure. Nothing crazy off the bench. What was our largest lead? We were up by 19 at one point. So yeah, probably some garbage time towards the end. The bench was unspectacular to say the least. Although I am shocked to see us shoot 7 to 17 thanks to Cade Cunningham. If you take away his shooting, we were 2 of 9 from deep. So that's going to be a bit scary if teams can shut us down. But very encouraging to win the first game. Now I'm not going to go day by day. So we are October 19th. Let's see if we can just get through a month without anything crazy happening and see what happens. So we win against Atlanta at home, a home opener. Drop one to Philly, which Cade with 40 points. Indiana with a revenge win against us. Oh boy, losses are piling up at Toronto. At Chicago, we drop another one. Versus Brooklyn, good lord, 2 and 5 already. Thought that was a promising start. Get a win on the road against the Wiz. Grinded out a loss against the Knicks. The Pacers. Playing them 3 times early in the season. Seems like Cade Cunningham loves playing against Indiana already. Take down Minnesota. Road loss to the Heat. Oh man, 4 and 9. What looks so good to start. Chicago. It'll be interesting to see what the standings look like early in the season, but we are definitely going to be close to the bottom here. Milwaukee. Oof. So, we simmed the first month. Let's take a look at the standings just to see where we're at here. No surprise, healthy Brooklyn Nets atop the East and the Atlantic. The Pistons 4 and 12. We are only above the lowly Cavaliers in the Eastern Conference, 4 and 12. Wow, that's scary. And then in the West, yeah, there are some bad teams in this league, to say the least. Take a look at some of our stats before we wrap this episode up. Killian Hayes, sore knee, no big deal. He probably doesn't play much anyways. Well, yeah, actually 19 minutes a game, but he's not producing much at all for us. Let's see. So, our top scorer obviously is going to be Cade Cunningham so far. 36% from the field, 36% from three. Ouch. That 37% from three is pretty encouraging, but the fact that that is literally a hair better than his overall field goal percentage is a bit scary. What I love about this game is you can go in and see the shot distribution. Where is he thriving from? And for an offensive strategy of us trying to get to the into the paint, for our best player to be struggling so much from inside the arc is a little bit scary. But it is early. He's young. He's a rookie. Hopefully, he can find his way. But I also do want to check, because with rookies in this game, this is what the key is. Notice his endurance rating is at a 2. I am trying to play him a ton of minutes, but the way this game engine works, the younger players take a year, 2 years, 3 years to really hit their endurance boost. So while he is playing a ton of minutes, as we can see here, we go back to stats, he is playing a ton of minutes, 33 minutes. I believe what the issue is he is incredibly tired the whole second half. So what's going to have to happen here is I'm either going to have to start spacing out his minutes a little bit, and I'm definitely going to have to pull him back a little bit because it's going to hurt his production, and I would hate to risk any serious injury. Because what I have learned in this engine over the many years of playing it is these major injuries, they do kind of build up, and at times it seems like they do affect the player going forward, even when they're fully recovered. So it'll be interesting to see how we can manage Cade Cunningham going forward. Thank you for joining us. We're going to cut the video here. I thought a month into the season was a good start. Obviously, the 4-12 record is not a great start for us unless you're counting the ping pong balls. So let's see how we do next time we come back. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.